we have a BSA R-10, and this is a standard length shroud, which is, I'm not going to give you exact measurements, but it is around 17.5 inches or 436 millimeters long, if you include the end cap and the adapter that fixes it to the barrel. Now that's quite long, and quite often people want them shortened. There's two options when it comes to shortening the shroud. You can, if you have a threaded barrel, which the very early Mark 1 R10s had, you can have it shortened from the muzzle end, and that involves cutting off the tube and getting rid of that, and then using the thread that's on the actual barrel to screw your silencer to. Option 2 is to send me your shroud, and I will then cut off approximately 83 millimeters from the breech end. Here's an offcut to show you the bit that gets cut off, and then I'll re-thread it so that it fits back onto this adapter, which fixes it to the barrel. And I'll show you that on this end to show you how much you'll lose, just for reference. Right, the best thing to do is to undo the shroud, which just involves turning the shroud tube anti-clockwise until it undoes itself from this adapter. Once you see the threads, you know you're off, and you just slide it off. It does help if you give it a slight twisting action while you're sliding it off. And just keep going until it comes right off. This particular barrel's been threaded already. Right, there we have a standard shroud. Now inside this there will be a number of little baffles and springs, and also some centralizers which hold the shroud central to the barrel. I use a non-ferrous metal bar to remove them because sometimes they are pretty tight. Once you've removed all the internals from the shroud, you'll be left with one centralizer that has O-rings on the outside and the inside, and that one goes sort of midway along the length of the barrel. Then you'll have another one which is slightly, it basically has a step one end and is full size the other end. That one is designed for fitting onto the end of the barrel. Then you'll have a couple of plastic spacers, and when you shorten the shroud, these will be removed. They will no longer be used, and you can either throw them in the bin or keep them for something. But basically, when you get your shroud back, you'll need to reuse these, and I will show you how to refit a shroud. You'll need to first of all slide the standard one, which has no step in it, along the barrel, go roughly halfway, and then the other one, which has the step in it, the step goes towards the muzzle, that goes over the end of the barrel and locks itself on to the end of the barrel. Obviously this one's threaded, so it's slightly different. And then your shroud that's been cut down will then slide over the first one, which will stay in place because of the step on the adapter. And then when you get to this one, you'll see it will want to move. So just hold your finger there and carefully keep it going. And then it sometimes helps to just put something against the little spacer and keep sliding the shroud on. And once the shroud is past once the threads on the shroud have passed the adapter, it should stop. There we go. So it should stay in place now. And slide that forward, and then clockwise to tighten it back onto the adapter. And there we go. That's it. Back on. Obviously this shroud hasn't been shortened because I don't have a shortened shroud to show you at the moment. and then I will show you option 2 now, which is if you have the shroud shortened from the muzzle end. So again, you'd need to send me your shroud and remove it by going anti-clockwise, twist it while you're pulling it off. Right, and then you'll need to remove the centralizers following the same procedure as before. There we go. Then if you don't have a standard barrel in your gun, you'll need to send me a measurement, and it needs to be fairly accurate, because if it's not, your shroud won't be cut to the right length. And the measurement I need is from the shoulder where the threads stop and the barrel steps up to full size. I need you to measure from that shoulder to the shoulder where the adapter steps up to the knurled part. And on this particular gun, it is 276 millimeters. So I need that measurement to be able to cut your shroud down to the right length. And I do have a shroud that is suitable for this gun, which has already been cut down. Okay, when you receive it back, your shroud will basically have been cut down, and you would no longer have the threaded bit that you used to have on the front. So what you need to do is use the centralizer that doesn't have the step in it, and the other one that does have the step in it can be put to one side because it's no longer needed. And then you slide your newly shortened shroud back onto your rifle, and then tighten it up by tightening it clockwise until it's tight, and then take the centralizer and slide that on between the barrel and the shroud. And push it in until it's flush with the end of the shroud, as that is there. And then you can then fit your silencer of choice directly onto your barrel. In this case it's a BSA VC silencer, and it matches up nicely with the shroud, and as you can see it's a fair bit shorter than a standard one. And I'll show you a standard one. I'll put the little adapter in. There we go. So there is quite a big difference when you have your shroud cut down from the muzzle end. It's also slightly shorter than when you have your barrel cut down from the breech end, because when you cut it down from the breech end, I have to make an allowance for the internals that are at the end of the shroud, which adds probably another 20-25 millimeters to the length of the shroud. So there we go.